The House has passed legislation that would sanction the International Criminal Court for issuing arrest warrants against Israel's prime minister and other top Israeli officials. The War Crimes Court's prosecutor announced last month that he would seek a warrant for the arrest of Netanyahu, other Israeli officials, as well as some within Hamas. The House passed the measure by a vote of 247 to 155, attracting support from 42 Democrats. Many Republican lawmakers calling the International Criminal Court a, quote, kangaroo court. Congressman Brian Mast, a Florida Republican, is a co-sponsor of the bill and joins us now live to discuss all of it. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Glad to join you.
All right, so first off, I do have to ask, can you explain to me what it is that this legislation really does overall?
Members of the International Criminal Court that were a part of this effort to try and extradite Prime Minister Netanyahu or any other major U.S. ally that this could happen to in the future, they would be sanctioned in the form of they would be deported from the United States of America, their families. They wouldn't be able to travel to other places, as some of the examples of what would occur under the sanctions against these individuals that are part of the ICC.
Let's start also with talking about the ICC in general. When they did announce that they were going to issue arrest warrants for Netanyahu, other top Israeli officials, what were you thinking? What was the first thing that went through your mind? Did you really expect it?
We knew that they were working on it. Wholly political, just pandering to a political movement that's going on in various places, not rooted in truth. And again, dealing with a court that literally has no jurisdiction over any sovereignty across the world, certainly not over the United States of America, not over Israel, not over the leaders of our country, and not over any other major U.S. allies. They have no jurisdiction. And so for them to think that they're going to execute some level of enforcement against us is something that we will stand against entirely.
What made you want to take action against the ICC and sponsor this?
This is just another action by globalist organizations like the United Nations that are out there actively working against our major ally, Israel, who was literally attacked by Palestinians, by the terrorist groups that were elected by Palestinians, literally holding Americans hostage as we speak, holding Israelis hostage as we speak, killing Americans, killing Israelis, killing others from other countries. That is the facts of the situation. This is something that we wholly need to be involved in, is making sure that this comes to a just conclusion for those that were attacked, which is Israel and Americans.
Some of the critics of this measure do say that essentially it doesn't really do anything, but is it more symbolic overall?
Well, any bill that goes through the House but does not also go through the Senate and is not signed into law by the president actually does nothing. That is a fact. If it doesn't actually go through all of those modes to get it to the finish line, it does nothing. It becomes simply symbolism, simply a message for people in the House of Representatives. Initially, this was a piece of legislation that Republicans and Democrats were all working on together in conjunction with the White House. In this last couple of days, the White House pulled back and said they wanted nothing to do with this and that they were going to veto this if it did actually go through the House and the Senate, which was a 180-degree turnaround from where they were initially when we all worked together.
What message do you have for the Senate right now? Are you hopeful that they will take this up and pass it?
Yeah, I would tell the Senate this: for America and for us as legislators of America, we have to make sure the world knows that our yes is yes and our no is no, that we stand by our allies and we stand against our enemies. And this is a part of that.
Netanyahu expected to address Congress in the coming weeks. What do you expect the reaction to be overall on both sides, and what do you want to hear from him?
You will have large Republican support, I would say unanimous Republican support for the prime minister coming here to speak on the floor of the House to both representatives and senators. You will probably have a number of Democrats support this, but you will have a number of Democrats that will not attend, that will abstain from showing up. You will have people that are here in support, people that are here in protest. But in the end, it will be just that we have the prime minister of Israel here to speak and make the case for the attack that took place against Israel in what is justly classified as their version of 9/11.
My last question for you before I let you go. Do you think that America overall is doing enough to show its support for Israel?
America in the executive branch certainly is not. You have so many instances where this executive branch is flip-flopping back and forth from saying they're the biggest supporters of Israel to they're not going to work to ship the arms that Israel needs in order to refill the Iron Dome system that knocks rockets out of the sky or help them with offensive weapons. And that's just one example of the kind of flip-flopping that's going on back and forth. We're going to support our ally Israel, but we're also going to build a $320 million port in Gaza for the entity that is at war with our ally, our non-ally that is at war with our ally. These type of policies don't make sense at all.
All right, Congressman Mast, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. Anything else you want to add about anything before I let you go?
I would just say thank you again for asking the questions. Thank you for having me.
Hey everyone, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please click like and subscribe. I will be back on YouTube with more exclusive content, so stay tuned.